Alrighty. Um, Again, back at you in this absolutely beautiful scenery today. I'm absolutely obsessed with recording outside. This is the second episode I'm recording outside, and I thought it was so exciting. And I even said about that. I still haven't checked the audio, but we're just like hoping for the best. Okay. So today, what I want to talk about. Well, the second thing I wanted to talk about, I wanted to talk about relationship because what else do we talk about, right? Relationship. But not the lovey-dovey relationship talk. I want to talk about the different types of relationship, and relationships can serve a different purpose in our lives. Um Today I want to talk about how not I know we're all obsessed with relationship. Let's be honest. Also, Kabbalah does tell you that it's literally like it's the ultimate. I mean, we come here to do soul correction, but at the end of the day, there is a reason why we're obsessed with love. It's literally because when you study Kabbalah, one thing that you would, by the way, I don't expect you to study Kabbalah. I'm just telling you what I learned. One thing that you realize is that a lot of things in life are paradoxes where you always have to be navigating like two lines at the same time, right? It's this idea of balance, right? That's just how the world was created. And there's only one thing that is ultimately true, that is love. I know it sounds like such a crazy concept. Oh, love, love, love. You know what I mean? We hear about it in every single movie, we hear about it in every single song. And so we're kind of like a little bit desensitized with the idea of love. But at the same time, it is a reason why we're obsessed with love. It's just because it is actually one of the highest frequency and energies, and that's why we're obsessed with. And also because our our soul does have the opposite. Each soul has like a was separated in the female counterpart and the male counterpart, so there's certain polarity that applies. So everything we see here in the physical realm, it's not random. It's actually a reflection of how things were created in the metaphysical world. Oh boy, we're already digressing. So where I'm going with that, I said that because I want you to understand that the reason why we're obsessed with relationship is not because we're crazy and all that stuff. It's literally because it's part of our genetic makeup. It's part of our, the deep energetic signal. Our heart knows the truth, and that's why we're always seeking for love. However, in this lifetime, it's a little bit harder to find our soulmate because there's many reasons for that, which I'll get in later episodes. Today, what I want to talk about is, while we're talking about love, we cannot ignore the fact that separation and divorces are actually really, really super high. And also, it's because not, and to the point that many people don't even believe in love anymore. Some people, and I was there, I'm not gonna lie, I went through a period of my life after the end of my long term 15 years relationship where I was just like, whatever, I'm not doing this anymore. It's just a myth that, it's a lie that they sell to us. Love doesn't exist. And I'm pretty sure like you can be familiar to these diving into that hole, especially after you've been hurt. And this is where I'm so grateful for Kabbalah, because Kabbalah is literally like explaining to you exactly how the world operates, and it's giving you a bird eye view of what is going on in this circus. I say that all the time. And also it gives you like, it teaches you energetic rules and metaphysical rules that govern this reality. The same way we do have gravity, that is a rule, whether you accept it or not, it's there. At the same time, we do have energetic and metaphysical rules that govern this life. I repeat these things again and again because I don't know which episode you've listened to before. So where I'm going with this is that because there's a lot, it's very complex. Love is very, very complex. The more I study about it in Kabbalah, the more I'm like, holy moly, no wonder why we're also confused and lost, because it's very, very hard for like two soulmates, as in the initial male and female counterparts of a soul, of the same soul, because they were separated in you know, these two forces to create polarity or for balance, the male and female side of the same one soul. It takes a lot of gymnastic to actually bring the souls unified into this physical realm. As a result, we end up with all sorts of people. A lot of the relationship you see are actually not soulmate relationship. And soulmate relationship is not necessarily the thing we see in Hollywood, where we just sit around and watch Netflix all day and isolate ourselves away from society and be very selfish and focus about ourselves only. That is not a soulmate relationship. A soulmate relationship, by the way, if we actually knew what it was, most of us would be like, I don't want it. It's actually work. A soulmate relationship is work. It's two souls. It's two part of the soul, of the same soul, that unify to actually reveal more light into this world. And often it would be like some couple you see going through like crazy hardship because they believe in like a higher, purpose, and they're invested. We often see these in communities where, let's say, the wife and the husband would give everything they have, and they would run like a children's shelter, and then they would, or we see that often with people, running like an animal shelter, and they work tirelessly for that higher goal. This is pretty much what soulmate relationships are about. It's about coming together to reveal more light in the world. It's not the selfish interpretation that we have. Anyways, not doesn't mean we can't have fun, but I'm just saying that the more you know about love and relationship, the more you just realize, oh, wait a minute, this is not the crazy Hollywood version that was sold to us. Anyhow, I digress again. Where I'm going with this. So, because it's very hard for the actual two parts of the same soul to come together in life for a myriad of reasons, we end up with all sorts of people, and sometimes it's not wrong per se, it's just part of the soul's journey. A lot of relationship we have are actually not soulmate relationship, but they're actually karmic relationship. They're like, it's before you came in the world, the souls pretty much had like a gathering together. They're like, all right, I'm looking to have this experience and that experience, let's just like sign up some souls contract, and then at this point of my life you will come in, and then we will start a relationship together, and it's gonna be like the most toxic relationship. But then I need that because my soul needed for like soul's development. Now, I'm not promoting toxic relationship here. I'm just saying that a lot of the relationship we have, a lot of the people we meet in the life are actually karmic relationship. They're not necessarily, when you're looking back and you're like, oh my god, I gave so much of my life, why did this relationship, like, why did the relationship didn't last? It is just often because it's not meant to last. It's supposed to be there to teach your soul something specifically. It's like when you go to school, you're not meant to stay in 8th grade forever, you're not meant to stay in 9th grade forever. You're supposed to just like go to like the curriculum, and then after that you pass, and then you move on to a greater class and you know greater pastures. So this is the same thing. I wanted to talk about that because I feel like it's not really talked about enough, how a lot of those relationships are actually karmic. They're not there to last forever. Can they be? The thing is, we do have free will in life, but it's more like the way you have to think about it is just like all the realities already exist. In a way, it's kind of like it's like a highway. The free will represents, let's say you have a huge highway with 8 lanes, right? The free will represents the 8 lanes, meaning that you can choose which lane you want to drive on. But we do have predetermined lanes. So it's a bit of both. That's why you see some people are telling you, oh, there's no free will, and other people telling you there's free will. We need to stop fighting about that. Nothing is really ever black and white, fully black and white in life, besides for love, which is pretty much like at the highest frequency there is. This is the only thing that has no, love is love, and it's just like that feeling, that energy. It's the only thing that has no, there's no paradox about it. It's the purest energy. Everything else in life, honestly, is a mix of both sides, because it's how the world was created. It's just always meant to be balanced in the middle. So when we have team, there's no free will, and team, destiny. I mean, there's no free will and there's free will. We're fighting, but it's pretty much a bit of both. That's why I like the analogy of the highway. Like I said, you do have free will because you could choose like which line you want to drive on, right? But again, the lines are already predetermined. And this is why even like new age spirituality, new age spirituality is literally, you often gonna hear things like, oh, your higher self is already out there, everything you want is already out there, just manifest and just like magnetize it into your field. This is the concept that they're basing themselves on. It's that idea. It's pretty much. So what I'm saying is, when it comes to relationship, of course there's free will, but we have to understand that our souls are eternal. And then this life that you're living right now is one chapter of a very, very, very long eternal soul life. The soul doesn't die. The soul comes here, and it penetrates whichever body you in right now for this reincarnation, and then after you die, it moves on. It's either that's it, there's no need for more reincarnation, or if there's more like curriculum that your soul needs to go through, then it will go and reincarnate in another body, in another, like, in another, like, continue with the journey. But because we don't remember the present, we don't remember past lives unless we're doing past life regressions or like meditations and stuff like that, recalling it, because we have access to these things, just like most of us, we don't, right? So unless we do these things, because we're pretty much operating blind, so that's why we always think that, you always hear people say, YOLO, you only have one life to live. Actually, no, you don't. You don't just have one life. Because we keep coming back here, and most of us, 99% of us, I'd say, there is the concept of new souls that are in their first reincarnation, but even this is kind of like, most of us, we've pretty much been there already. So where I'm going with this, is the pretty much, I just want you to understand that if the soul, before the soul, karmic, right, before the soul comes here, nothing is random. Nothing is random. Me in my physical body, I might be like, the hell am I here for? How did I end up in the most random place in Batumi, Georgia, by the beach, recording a video about karmic relationship? What the hell is going on here? You know what I mean? Like for me, in my human body, I'm like, oh my god, this is random. What is going on here? But from the soul's perspective, nothing is random. This was all kind of like predetermined in a way, as in before coming here, the soul has some very specific experience it wants to go through. Like, again, of course we do have choices. Like I said, you can think about the choices as in, oh, which lane are you going to drive on? But the lanes are already there, already predetermined. Of course, at any moment when you pass a certain test, or when you upgrade, or when you downgrade, you can just be like, shift from one lane to another. But my point is, it's a bit of both. It's a mixture of both. It's both it's both destiny and free will. So, whew, I'm pretty much sure that was like kind of like heavy. All I'm saying is just like, we need to stop beating ourselves down. And this is why with relationship, and start saying, okay, what does this relationship teach you? And sit down with yourself and think about, why did your soul want to go through this experience? What was the lesson that it was trying to learn? And I wanted to say that because I wanted to remove the pressures, realizing that, like, soulmate relationship is kind of like really, really hard for them to meet up in this life if you're not doing spiritual work. It's like there's like a whole section in the Zohar, which is pretty much the Kabbalistic text, which is pretty much deciphering the Bible. By the way, the Bible is actually not a religious text like we think. Like, we also cut up in the stories and stuff like that, but they're codes. They're all codes, because again, the problem is we don't have a metaphysical language. You know what I mean? So we need to use the language, the common, of course, like the ancient language that was kind of, that it was all written was Aramaic, but we have to understand that we do have limitation, because it's, how do you how do you translate, how do you share unseen energetic frequency into our tangible language with words? Do you know what I mean? It's just hard to like, it's just hard to bridge those two worlds. So this is what these initial books were all about. They were energetic codes, by the way. And again, us humans, we do what we do best. Anyways, I'm not gonna get into that. But that was the whole everything was like misinterpreted and taken to a whole other direction when it was never meant to be a restrict anything. They were never meant to be restrictive religion, pitting us against others when we're all one. They were all deep genetic codes hidden behind stories. Anyways, on that note, my love, I really wanted this episode to be more about understanding that there's nothing wrong with you if you can't find your soulmate. No, we're not losing hope. That's not the point. But I just really wanted to start shining lights onto different types of relationship that we experience here as a soul having a human experience on earth for the purpose of elevation of the soul's development, right? So we need to really really move on through life, constantly reminding ourselves, detaching ourselves from the physicality of things, and remember that most and foremost, we are a soul, and constantly questioning ourselves about why did you have this experience? Why did you meet that person? What was the nuggets? What was the diamond that you were supposed to retrieve from that? Whichever hardship relationship that you went through in the past. On that note, my love, keep shining bright like a diamond. As usual, all my links are down below. You could book like a reading with me, a synastry reading, which is pretty much a relationship compatibility astrology reading, and also birth chart and transits. These are so much fun. I love diving into your specific blueprint with you. On that note, I will see you in the next one, and I hope you enjoyed me recording in this crazy outdoor. It's fun, and I'll see you in the next one, my love. And if you're going through like a hard time, don't forget you're not alone. And that's the purpose of me doing all of these things. I just want us to know that we're not the only one going through like those hard time in life. It's just all part of the curriculum of life, and hang in there one day at a time. All right, my love, sending you so much love. The biggest hug. So much great energy. I'll see you in the next one.